Welcome back to Adventure Freaks. I'm Ray, and today I need to talk to you about something that is truly important for your longevity and survival as an expat. Because if you don't get this right, you will fail living overseas. It's as simple as that. Living in another country can be an incredible experience. It can open your eyes to new cultures, new ways of living, and completely change how you see the world. But I've also seen the other side. I've met people who move abroad, and within months, they're miserable. They're frustrated. They complain constantly. And many of them end up moving right back home. And most of the time, the problem isn't the country, it's the mindset they brought with them. So today we're going to talk about the 4 ways of thinking that can absolutely ruin your experience living abroad. And we're saving the biggest one for last because this mindset alone has probably destroyed more expat experiences than anything else. And if this is the main reason you're thinking about moving abroad, there's a very good chance you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Now let's dive in. Hi, can Ernest and I ask you a favor? If you find our content helpful, please hit that subscribe and like button. It truly helps us grow, and it makes Ernest happy. First up, let's start with something that trips up a lot of people when they first move abroad, and that is expecting your new country to be like home. Well, it's not going to be. Things will move at a different pace. What you're accustomed to back home will almost certainly be different in your new home. In many countries overseas, the culture is simply more laid back. People may not be in the same rush that you're used to. For example, you might go to a government office and take care of paperwork. Back home, you may be used to quick systems, online forms, and things move pretty efficiently. But in another country, that same process might involve multiple visits, waiting in lines or being told to come back tomorrow. And that's just how things work. Another example could be service at restaurants. In the United States, service is often very fast and attentive. Servers check you frequently, refill drinks quickly, and move things along. But in many parts of the world, dining is meant to be slower and more relaxed. You may wait longer for a bill. You may not see the server very often. And that's not considered bad service. That's just the local culture. This is where some expats and retirees begin to struggle. They expect the same systems, the same speed, and the same type of treatment they were used to back home. When that doesn't happen, frustration starts to build. Simple daily situations suddenly feel stressful. If someone tends to become easily frustrated or they place very high expectations on how things should work, they can quickly start feeling disappointed. And when that disappointment happens day after day, it can make living abroad feel exhausting. The people who tend to succeed living overseas are the ones who learn to adjust their expectations. They understand that different countries operate differently. And instead of constantly comparing everything to home, they learn to go with the flow of the new environment. Because if you expect your new country to work exactly like the one you left, you're setting yourself up for a lot of unnecessary frustration. Feeling confused about where to move abroad, which countries you even qualify for, or what your real options are? You're not alone. This is where most people get stuck and where they often waste a lot of time and money going in the wrong direction. That's why we offer 2 simple ways to help, depending on what you need. First is the Ideal Destination Finder. It's a personalized assessment that looks at your lifestyle, priorities, and budget, and then shows you your top 3 countries. It's designed to help you narrow things down, avoid endless research, and reduce the risk of choosing the wrong place. And if you feel like you need more personalized help, you can also book a one-on-one consultation with me. I'll walk you through your situation, clarify which countries make sense for you, which countries you can actually qualify for, and the next steps, so you're not guessing. Both options are easy to find at adventurefreaks.com. Just scroll down and you'll see the consultation with me. To the right, just click it and schedule your consultation. Over here to the left, you'll see the Ideal Destination Finder. Just click it to get started. Links are also in the description below, or you can scan the QR codes on the screen. Now let's get back to the video. The next mindset that can seriously damage your experience living abroad is refusing to learn the language. Now let's be clear about something. You don't need to become fluent. You don't need to speak perfectly. You don't need to master grammar. And you certainly don't need to sound like a native speaker. But making no effort at all to learn the language can create a lot of unnecessary problems. Think about everyday life. Simple things like going to the grocery store, making a doctor's appointment, talking to your neighbors, or asking for help when something goes wrong. If you rely completely on English in a country where English isn't widely spoken, daily life can quickly become frustrating, and it can also limit your experience in ways you might not expect. When people refuse to learn even basic phrases, they often end up staying inside an expat bubble. They socialize mostly with foreigners, they go to the same expat restaurants, and they never really connect with the local culture around them. But when you make even a small effort to speak the language, something interesting happens. People notice. Locals often appreciate the effort, even if you only know a few words. A simple greeting, a thank you, or asking a question in the local language can completely change how people interact with you. It shows respect. It shows that you understand you're living in their country, not expecting everyone to adapt to you. But if someone refuses to learn even the basics, if they expect everyone around them to accommodate them instead, life abroad becomes much harder than it needs to be. Simple daily situations turn into constant frustrations, and over time, that frustration can wear down people. Because the reality is this: if you move to another country and refuse to make even a small effort to learn the language, there's a very good chance you're going to struggle living there. And that mindset alone can make it extremely difficult to succeed living abroad. The next mindset that can quietly ruin someone's experience living abroad is not being open to the local culture. Some people move to another country but never really leave their comfort zone. They live in gated communities. They stay mostly in expat neighborhoods. They socialize almost entirely with other foreigners. Their daily life ends up looking very similar to the life they had back home. They shop at the same types of stores, eat the same types of food, and spend most of their time around people from their own country. Now, there's nothing wrong with having expat friends, and in many places, expat communities can actually be very supportive. But when someone completely surrounds themselves with only what's familiar, they often miss the very experience that made them want to move abroad in the first place. One of the greatest benefits of living in another country is the opportunity to experience a different culture, different traditions, different foods, different ways people gather, celebrate, and live their lives. But when someone refuses to step outside of what feels comfortable, they can unintentionally build a wall between themselves and the country they now live in. Over time, that can create a strange situation. They are physically living abroad, but emotionally and socially, they're still living back home. And when challenges arise, which they always do when living in another country, people who haven't connected with the local culture often feel even more disconnected. They don't feel rooted. They don't feel part of the community around them. The expats who tend to thrive overseas are usually the ones who stay curious. They try local restaurants. They attend local events. They get to know their neighbors. They allow themselves to experience the country they chose to live in. But if someone moves abroad and refuses to engage with the culture around them, if they spend all their time trying to recreate the life they left behind, then they may eventually start wondering why they moved at all. Because if you're not willing to open yourself up to the culture of the country you're living in, living abroad can become a very isolating experience. And for many people, that mindset is exactly what leads them to struggle and ultimately fail in building a fulfilling life overseas. And now we're at the biggest mindset mistake of all, the one that will almost guarantee failure if you move abroad thinking this way. It's moving to a new country just because it's cheaper to live there, or because you can live more comfortably than you did back home. Now let me be honest, cost of living is important. Everyone wants to make smart choices. But when that's your main motivator for moving, it says a lot, both to yourself and to the people around you. Here's the problem. People with this mindset are often not interested in the country or its culture. Their move is about themselves, their comfort, and their lifestyle, not about connecting with the place they're choosing to call home. Choosing a country just because it's cheaper or because friends are living large there sends a subtle but powerful signal. This is a me move, not a we move. And locals can sense it. They notice when someone shows no curiosity, no effort, no respect for the community. They notice when your life revolves only around what you can gain: better housing, lower taxes, cheaper dining, or simply a better lifestyle than what you had back home, without giving them anything in return. And here's why that matters. People instinctively respond to energy and intent. Someone who moves for genuine interest in the culture, who asks questions, tries local foods, learns the language, and participates in local life is embraced. Someone who moves just for comfort, who stays in gated or expat communities, and treats the country like a playground for their personal convenience, locals are turned off. They see someone taking, but not giving. This is a taker mentality. I'll go and take what I can get from this country, this culture, and this community, but I won't give any of myself in return. It creates invisible walls, doors don't open as easily, invitations aren't offered, connections are shallow, and without those connections, life abroad quickly becomes lonely, isolating, and frustrating. Because here's the harsh truth: moving purely for comfort or financial advantage, without curiosity, interest, or respect for the people and the culture, is almost guaranteed to fail. You may have a beautiful apartment or a lower rent bill. You may have more disposable income, but you will never truly belong, and you will never truly experience the richness of life abroad. If your main motivation is, I can live better there than I can here, you're missing the point. Living abroad is not about a checklist of comforts. It's about connection, curiosity, and contribution. And without those, moving to a new country will feel empty, frustrating, and ultimately unsuccessful, no matter how cheap or comfortable it is. So there you have it, the 4 mindsets that will make you fail living abroad. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments which of these points stood out the most, or if you've seen someone struggle with any of these mindsets firsthand. I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and like. It truly helps our channel bring you more videos like this. And don't forget to check out adventurefreaks.com, where we offer online resources to help you get started on your move abroad. And as always, thank you for watching. I'm Ray with Adventure Freaks, showing you how to live your best life abroad.